Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah. Thank you, YouTube, all subscribers, viewers, and supporters of this channel. Thank you very much. At last, now we are coming to the environmental performance evaluation of our friend here, which is diesel, which is involves in, as you remember, in the diesel transfer process from a lorry tanker into the storage tank of this particular factory. So the activity or the process is called diesel transfer. So now at this point, after we have done all the evaluation to determine how significant is this environmental aspect in terms of the aspects impact register, how significant is this aspect in terms of its probable environmental impact, which is done already at this point. We are looking at the environmental performance evaluation. If you have just come into this channel and viewing this video and you missed the earlier segment where we do evaluation for its the significance of its environmental impact as per evaluation criteria like magnitude, severity, legal, etc. Please, you're welcome to browse through the earlier videos. Now this one is about environmental performance evaluation made simple. Philosophy still, concept, you got to go in deeper. Okay, and before we go on, I'd like to implore all my Muslim brothers and sisters, please do not watch this video if you are already in a mosque for the Friday prayers khutbah or attending any religious lessons by any scholars from any books. Thank you very much. Appreciate your cooperation. I love you for that, and I wish all of us Jannatul Naim. Thank you. Now let us go on and take a look at the position of our work. Where is it in the chronology of the implementation of Environmental Management System ISO 14001 version 2015? Remember, Environmental Management System as per the standard, international standard, is about managing environmental aspect. How is this environmental aspects being managed? By fulfilling, that's the word, fulfilling what? Compliance obligation. Remember that? Obligations to the environmental law. We got to comply. Obligations to all the permits, terms and conditions of approval from the various governance agencies that issues permit approval for the existence of our company. We have to comply to that. Obligations to clients, product specification, delivery time, etc. You know best. Those are obligations also to contractors, vendors, insurance companies, NGOs, perhaps association of manufacturer. Some manufacturers got their own association, chamber of commerce, and all this, including political parties, perhaps the government, including international conventions, Basel Convention, Ramsar Convention, Montreal Protocol, Kyoto Protocol. All these are obligations that our company has got to conform. All right, and these are all addressed under compliance obligation. At the same time, we have got to address risk and opportunities for each environmental aspects involved in each activities or processes. Of course, that involves environmental aspects in order that we are able to minimize, retard, halt, if not eliminate the occurrence of environmental impact. So when we are talking about evaluation for this video, we are here. And in fact, the evaluation at this point is done. Remember, those criteria, magnitude, severity is done. We have got the score already. I'll show you at the end of this particular video. We have done this. Remember, input, output analysis, we have done that. If you have not seen those videos, in order for you to catch up to this part, please view those videos first for you to understand, so that you don't miss anything in between and get yourself confused later on. All right. Now, we have also done this. Based on the evaluation criteria, we now know how significant of the environmental aspect, assuming we have done all the environmental aspects. But for this video, we just began only with one aspect, that is diesel as an input environmental aspect. Only then, after that is done, only then we proceed with constructing our environmental policy, determining what are our environmental objectives, and there you are. Environmental management program, targets and environmental management program. What to achieve, who, do what, when and how, and then all the related SOPs are all here. And we have got to give priorities to activities which is associated to significant environmental aspects. That's the overall picture of the implementation of ISO 14001, which won't go wrong. This is a summary. Okay. Now let us take a look at the next slide. This is the example that I have given in our previous video, the input-output analysis. I just recap what we have done a little bit. If you want the detail, please refer to those related video. And diesel is over here. This is a process of diesel transfer. This is an activity which is called diesel transfer in the factory. The process occurs in the factory. The lorry tanker arrives, and the activity is transferring diesel from the tank to the skip tank or the storage tank in the factory. Now, if you missed the input-output analysis and you want to know in detail, this is the video for you. Please browse through. And if you want to know in detail why diesel is an environmental aspect, I would recommend you not to miss this particular video. It's a short video. It doesn't take the whole day, just half an hour. Probably 20 minutes. Okay. Now let us go into the next slide and let us check. This is what we have arrived to at this point. We already have done all the evaluation criteria as shown there, and we now know the score for diesel, which is here. This is the activity. And this is the aspect. So the aspect that we're discussing in this video is about diesel, and this is the impact that it can cause because it is an input environmental aspect. Remember, upstream life cycle perspective, it is causing the resource depletion as environmental impact. Now, this video is about this environmental performance evaluation, and I am interpreting, or rather applying, the standard set by ISO on environmental performance evaluation, which is ISO 14031. It sounds difficult, but it's not. And we are going to look at this part. Okay, so risk and opportunities is done. Apparently, there you are. What's the risk? Diesel is cost. Whether there's spillage or no spillage, diesel prices fluctuates. It's a management concern. It's about business, remember? And also the way forward when we use this expensive fossil fuel is to optimize usage. All right? And of course, no wastage. So let's take a look at environmental performance. Here we are. Please remember, when we want to do environmental performance evaluation, My experience taught me that we need to have adequate data. We need to have adequate information. This is stipulated in the document ISO 14031. And we have got to evaluate those data. I'm not able to do it in this video. Please read the standard, and perhaps after reading the standard, you may be able to comprehend this. If you need me to do a session specifically for environmental evaluation or environmental performance evaluation ISO 14001, you're welcome to comment below. I would only do it if you have got an interest. Okay, now let's take a look. Environmental performance evaluation has got environmental performance indicator. There you are. EPI is environmental performance indicator, which has got about 3 types of indicators stipulated by the standard. Number 1 indicator is the MPI. Look, okay. Now these are all, as you could see, what I have written, a list here, are all a summarized list of data or information gathered when we do site review. And there are more information that we gathered when we do document review or when we interview respective people. But I don't include that here. I just want to make this simple for you to comprehend, to understand, have a good picture, have a good feel what is environmental performance evaluation is about. Okay, so what I have is a simple data or information, as you could see. Now let's take a look at MPI. MPI is Management Performance Index. It is how the management behave in addressing, in this case, this particular aspect, which is diesel fuel input into the company. What does the management, or what they call, provide? How the management manage it based on their existing management system? Does it include? Does it address? Does it cover environmental concerns? We'll take a look. Now, in this case, the transported diesel is using tanker lorry, which is a contract supplier. If you do responsible care 14001, this will be highlighted, but we're not going to do that now. So the management performance index is, at this point, you know, there's nothing remarkable about it. It is normal for the management to engage an outsourced supplier for diesel, and whether or not the management gives a certain SOP to manage the diesel environmentally, we don't see it. So there's nothing colorful about environmental management for at this stage, for this company, for this activity, okay? Unless when the management gives out some form of indulgence, some form of hands-on or perhaps closer monitoring. The management appoints somebody to look into the transfer of diesel to ensure the diesel sulfur content, etc. If all these are stipulated in their purchase order, then it would score higher. We could say the management has got environmental concerns. This is only conventional business as you see occurring in any company. So let's take a look. The next one, it is monthly. There's another MPI here. Monthly purchase is a management function. Purchase order over here issued by the company is a management function. All right. And also diesel price fluctuates is actually a management function because it's a management concern. Okay. So there are, from all this data, only 4 apparently is applicable to management, and we can evaluate the management function. I will show you shortly. What about OPI? Is operational function. Operational performance index. So in terms of operation, well, the tanker lorry gets into the factory and do the diesel transfer is an operational procedure. It is an operational performance index. Anything colorful about it? Yeah, it's normal. It's a normal thing. It's a conventional management. Does the transporter being given SOP or work instruction sheet to ensure the quality of diesel, to ensure a certain procedure that diesel is transported and transferred into the tank of this particular factory without a single drop of spill, to have a special flange or transfer mechanism. We don't see it for this case, all right? And a monthly occasion for the transfer of diesel is based on operational norm, operational need to use diesel in their operation. With or without environmental concern, it is going on. It is there not because of the environment. It's because of business. So it's normal, nothing colorful for environment. And the fact that diesel is being used in machines, these are all operational, normal. Quantity as per PO, it actually is normal, but then when they do this, it is a plus point for the environment and also quality management, if you know. They don't purchase more than needed, which is good in environmental management in terms of resource conservation, in terms of optimization of the use of raw materials, which is good. Not quite colorful, but there is some color. Okay, and fuel transporter with permits. These are all management operational function. Of course, they need to have permits in order to avoid fraud, etc. Quantity is monitored, which is good. This is also considered to be probably environmental concern because the quantity, when talking about fossil fuel, okay. Overconsumption, no record. This is good. This is operational performance index. There's no overconsumption. This company calculated, and indirectly, it is a benefit for the environment because we don't over demand for fossil fuel, which is good. However, leakage is noted. This is operational performance index. And on every unloading work, it seeps into the road. That is an environmental impact, right? And into stormwater drain, causing water pollution, seeps into the road, causing ground or soil pollution. There you are. We'll come to that, okay? So that is a minus point, actually. Fumes detected, okay? And that is operational index as well, okay? No complaints, however. Okay, no complaints. Because we look for complaint record, we ask for it, it's not there. And we interviewed a few people, there's no complaint. It seems that they are complacent with the smell of diesel, or maybe they don't smell it at all. So that is not OPI, that is ECI. And no fire incident record. This is operational performance index, which is good. No fire, no hazard situation, no emergency situation, but it can happen. We do not deny the fact that there's a probability of occurrence. Okay, now let's take a look at that. That is operational performance index. Let's take a look at ECI, which is environmental condition index. There you are. One of them is here. Out of all this data, we saw three only environmental condition index, which is leakage is noted. Definitely, it's going to be not so good in terms of index for environmental condition, and also diesel fumes are detected. That is an indicator of that environmental aspects, which is released as fugitive aerosols or fugitive volatile organic compounds. It is an indication to the environment. It is an indication that there is air pollution. When it flows into the road, this is indication that it is causing ground pollution, and when it is in the stormwater drain, it is an indication that it is causing water pollution. And on top of that, there's no complaint for diesel smell by workers. That is also an environmental condition indicator. No smell by workers, meaning I would say the severity of impact is not huge, it's not widened, okay, it's localized in that activity. Fine. So these are all information, data that we need to have if we want to perform environmental performance evaluation for this particular activity, for this particular environmental aspects. When do we gather this? Is when we do site review. So if you already have an environmental management system 14001 version 2015 certified, you can proceed with environmental performance evaluation. How to do it? I recommend you to do a site review, but make sure it's a detailed site review plus document review plus interview with related person, not the EMR only or steering committee. Okay, you got to go there into the on the ground. All right, now let's take a look. What have we got? So based on that, apparently these are some of the management performance indicators rating criteria. And of course, just like environmental, what do you call, evaluation technique, from severity, magnitude, up to environmental performance evaluation, all these figures, rating 10, 6, 4, 2, etc., is not stipulated under ISO. It is developed over time. My own experience over the years, and today I'm sharing it with you. Hopefully you are able to benefit from it and also expand it further at higher level. So based on the data that we saw just now, apparently, if you look at number one, absolute support, no, we don't see it. Absolute support, that is good support and fully involved in EMS. No, I don't see any evidence that the management has given any form of remarks or perhaps specific environmental procedures or specific environmental instructions to the operational personnel. So no, I don't see it, okay? It doesn't fit there. What about moderate support, involvement? No, involvement, I don't see management representative except when we were doing audit. But I interviewed those workers off the record. I told them that the management has got to go off to the office. I want to do interview, and during the interview, we gathered information. No specific management function with the environmental flag. No. So we would say it could be a minimum support. Yeah, I would say it's a normal, conventional company procedure. So, and this is negative. No, I don't see negativity. I don't see they ignore. They are still doing it. They know about the environmental management system. So, in all four occasions, they score 2. We'll come to the score later. Okay, as far as operational control is concerned, apparently from the data that we have displayed earlier on in this video, there are about 8 information or 8 data that was produced, that we gathered from the interviews and from observing the work. Apparently they have complied. Well, overall, I would say compliance to operational specification as far as this particular activity, which is diesel transfer, is concerned. There is no some form of innovation, no proactive display of having better method or better procedures or better technique in the transfer of diesels, all using conventional as is where is a diesel transfer system. They don't even bother to put, like, for example, a mat under a spill kit under the belly pan of the under the underneath the transfer hose couplings or flanges. So they are able to comply. Yes, they did their work as far as the contractor is concerned, and the operators or the technicians are observing, prepare the transfer on his side, which is the awaiting a diesel storage tank in the factory. So the factory operators did all the preparation to receive the diesel to be transferred or being transferred from the tanker lorries to the tank. Management, purchase orders, everything, are all in order, and the specification, the volume, all in order. So nothing to brag about. However, there are some irregular in compliance. We saw two of the data, okay, and for that it scores 0 over here. Some in compliance to operational specification with respect to the fact that there is what they call a spill kit, but it was deployed late. It was not on standby. When we have spill kit and we know that we're going to have diesel transfer, and we know very well that from past practices, there's going to be some spill. We have got to be proactive in getting those spill kit adsorbents, skimmers, whatever, by the location, at the location, by the sites of the diesel transfer operation. It has got to be like that. Not when there is spill, then you get somebody, you call up somebody, hey, go and get a spill kit, and that would take more than 15 minutes. I observe that. No, for me, there's a no. So I would say irregular in compliance, because if you look at the procedure, all this emergency apparatus, especially when involving hazardous cargo like diesel, what do you call inflammable liquid, health safety, first. So it's not complying to that. So two of them. So from all this, there are 8 datas over here, which score 4. There you are. So 32. Then you got to plus 2 over here. 2 datas over here, scoring 0. Okay, and that makes 0. So 32 over 10 is 3.2. That's the score as far as operational performance is concerned for this particular factory's diesel transfer operation. Now let's take a look at the next one. We have here environmental conditions indicator. We are not going to set for some ecological studies over here. No, we are looking only primary indicators or observable indicators. We are not going to count the number of colonies of algae or whatever as bioindicators. No, that would be of a higher level. If you could do that, I am so happy. It is needed. Ecologist is needed over here, but the job creation for this part, no. Businesses are not going into this area yet. But as far as those environmental, observable, or evidential evidence, or what you call that were gathered during the site review and viewing or witnessing this particular diesel transfer process, apparently there are 3 datas, which amounts to spills and releases are not addressed and controlled at all. The lorry has gone off. Only then, minutes later, more than 15 minutes later, it was absorbed. Somebody was doing some so-called cleaning up or absorbing those diesel spill, sweep after that, just because we were there as auditors. And I was observing, I was doing some form of eyeball engineering as well. So we noted all that down, and apparently it's not controlled at all. There are 3 daters over there. There is some of the spill kit are not in good condition, and a few of them are not appropriate, not suitable for that kind of work. They've got to take some cotton gloves, use spent cotton gloves, which are actually has already been classified scheduled waste to wipe the road. Okay, yes, that is innovation, but the scheduled waste by law is scheduled waste, and we can't do anything with it because the law of scheduled waste in this country is so stringent. So they are innovative. They're trying to do something, but they didn't have appropriate and adequate spill kit materials, spill kit support, what they call equipments, or not enough materials in the spill kit, not enough supply of spill kit. I would say it's all old, aged, and red, and they still use it. So as far as operations is concerned, these people are good, but the management didn't provide, and the operational, for that matter, the environmental condition indicators that we observed, 0. Okay, so this called 0 over here. And let's take a look how do the environmental performance evaluation for this particular factory comes about. So we have here MPI, which is scoring 2, okay, over here, and then we have got operational performance index over here, 3.2. We have environmental conditions index over here scoring 0. So add up all together and divide it by 3. Why 3? 3 indicators, so 1.73. That's how they do. And what is 1.73 stands for? Again, ISO 14001 is giving the luxury of discretion to decide and promulgate your own definition. So we have used this and given it out to many factories from where I'm from, and this is what our rating is. If it is a full 10, excellent, leader in environmental management, there's a handful of these companies over here nowadays. In the 80s, hardly, except for some foreign investors, perhaps, And for this case, for this particular activity, diesel transfer, apparently this company is called only 1.73, and we call it fair. Now, this is a corporate word. Okay, actually, if I am given the luxury to be a bit robust or being normal in environmental management, 10 is excellent, 7 to 9 is very good, 4 to 6 is good, 1 to 3 I don't call it fair. I would call it bad or poor, and below 1 we've got to figure out another word for that. What is worst? Okay, so this company has got a long way to go as far as adjusting to this operation, because the work is stereotyped. Okay, it is a routine work. So they have been using this technique all the years, decades, and management of change is a distant to most of these people, and they have been working in that manner, for decades. And for them to change to new techniques, for some people it is easy. For others, it would take a bit more persuasion. and training and awareness. Only then they are able to do it. So for this particular case, so we hope they would improve from there. So this is how the environmental performance is for this particular factory's activity, which is diesel transfer. I'm talking only about one activity and one environmental aspect. Okay, so that for that particular aspect, okay, and for that particular process, it is showing fair, I would say poor environmental performance. This is needed by top management. This is what we need before we set up our environmental management system. The company must know this first. Only then we begin to do, only then we know the position, our position in environmental management. Here we are, finally, for one environmental aspect only, which is diesel. From this particular process, what is it? Diesel transfer only. We have arrived to the finishing line of this particular aspect, and we have got the evaluations done for magnitude, severity, legality, business, client, and we know it occur in normal and emergency. Sorry, there's a correction here. It's supposed to be normal and emergency only. Please delete abnormal. It's not happening abnormal. Sorry about that. Frequency 1, duration 6. The score is finally 84, and how that is, how we arrive to that, there's a so-called formula over there. And also we have done environmental performance for this particular aspect, and it is found to be 1.73, which is actually poor. But for corporate reason, we use some positive words like fair. Okay, so it is. This is a very important dashboard, a very important display for top management to decide, and for the steering committee to propose to top management what to do next, and what are the environmental objectives, targets, and how to do how to do what, who, when, and all this environmental management program be derived from here. So this is only one environmental aspect, and there is an array. This is the reason this particular dashboard is so important. The next step, if your company is just establishing ISO 14001 version 2015, is to formulate the environmental policy after all these environmental aspects has been identified and the performance is known. Okay, do not make the environmental policy yet. So is this accurate? My answer is no. It's not accurate. I have done much accurate work before, but companies can't take it because they don't have dedicated people to oversee an environmental management system. They're all working come, like HSC manager come, steering committee chairman, a general manager come, top management representative. And the steering committee is ISO 14001 committee. One of the steering committee whom I know is what is called a process engineer, and also coupled with another partner which is in procurement. One of the accounts executive is steering committee for ISO 14001, steering committee for ISO 9000, steering committee for 18001, and what else? Some of them are auditors, internal auditors as well. So these are all multitasking work, which is good for them. But in real situation, honestly, I would say they can't pay attention to each of those camp work they got to do. So no, that is why they want me to make something more generic so that they are able to do it, and these are all translated into Excel software. They do it well, but okay, for me the standard is good, but if you ask me personally, I would go for something more accurate. But so far these have never failed our effort. We are able to differentiate the level of priority or the level of significance of this aspect quite vividly, and it is evident, and it doesn't give any false data, it doesn't give any false indication. All right, so it's good. It's good for me, at least for this company and many other companies. So we are going to move forward to do this for the other environmental aspects in the same process, which is diesel transfer. Let us take a look in the next few slides. Dirty spill kit. So diesel is done. In fact, the environmental performance evaluation is done. You saw it. Now the next one will be dirty spill kit. So I believe that is about it for diesel. Bravo. I end this video. As a Malay, I wish everybody semoga dikurniakan kesenangan, keselamatan, kesejahteraan, kebahagiaan, dan kejayaan kehidupan di dunia dan di akhirat. Until we meet in the next video, stay healthy. If you got the vaccination within the vicinity, go for it. And even though it doesn't guarantee 100% immunity, but half a loaf is better than none. Scientists have been working high and low to look for it, so we appreciate that. And stay healthy and work from home. Until we meet in the next video, I wish everybody Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.